Oh, there we go. Okay, we're recording now. So, so then, introductions, I guess, first.
Yeah.
Hi, I am Redacted. I also go by Kira, and you are?
Yeah. My name's Matthew. You can call me Matt if you want, but people usually call me Matthew. But I'm here with Redacted today to talk about the Trail series. The Trail series is a series very fond to my heart. I've been a fan ever since around, I want to say around 2017, 2018-ish. And and we're here to talk about why we want you to play the series. And we're gonna start by telling you how we got into it.
Yes. So do you want to go first on how you got into it, or do you want me to go first?
Uh, yeah, sure, why not? Okay. So basically, I guess the story starts with my brother. My brother, he got recommended the game on Steam. He played a lot of RPGs, and like the Steam usually recommends you games based on what you play. And one of the games they recommended him was Trails of Cold Steel 1, and he played it and he loved it. And then like he started playing the series, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then eventually he's like, you know what? I'm gonna recommend Matthew to play it. And then like he told me to play, he bought it for me. I played it. At first, I played Cold Steel 1. At first, I was like, it's all right. And then I dropped it. And like a week later, I got back to it. I just couldn't really put it down after that. And I was just like really hooked after that, and just kept going through. Played Cold Steel 2 after that, and then I realized, oh shit, there's like 5 games before Cold Steel 1. Let me go play
Yep.
those.
Yep.
And um, I went back to play from Sky all the way for like to play the first game, which is Sky First Chapter, all the way up until that point, and then I had to wait because at the time there was no ways to play the newer game, sorry. And yeah, um, ever since that point, like after I beat Cold Steel 2 is when I really got hooked, and and what really like hooked me in mainly was just like the narrative, the characters, the interactions they have with other characters, and like how it builds around the world around it. I guess a more better overview of Trails is like it's basically just a giant story where you know everything kind of connects together. There's a giant world, and like there's all these different places you get to visit and all the different arcs, so to speak. Every game has its own like takes place in a different part of the world, and you get to experience like the story of those characters and see where it goes from there, and then how it continues, and then like you move on to another story, and then like there's like little callbacks here and there, some characters come back, all that stuff. So I guess the best part about it is kind of like the connectivity of all of it, like just kind of seeing everything from different perspectives and seeing how people grow and develop over time. It's very rewarding. But at the
Incredibly.
same time, it can make the series a little bit hard to get into because oh shit, I
Absolutely.
gotta play. I gotta play 10 games to play the 11th game. Shit.
Yep. Yep, especially when the 11th game is the shiny new one and it's the start of an arc, so, oh, I can jump in there, can't I?
Yeah, like
We'll
like
get to that event later on in this episode, but still.
yeah, but like in general though, like yeah, the series like I think the series is really good. But like if I were to like okay, if this sounds anything interesting to you, because like I'm trying to be as spoiler free as possible. I don't want to
Yeah,
ruin it for anyone. But if you really want to start anywhere, I recommend starting with Sky First Chapter, the
agree.
very beginning, and then working your way up from there. Play the 3 Sky games, then play the 2 Crossbow games, which are Zero and Azure, by the way, and then play the 4 Cold Steel games, CS 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then after that, play Reverie, and then play Daybreak 1. That'll be your stopping point for English, sadly.
For now.
But if you were to,
You're probably
but
gonna, by that time, you're probably, Daybreak 2 is probably gonna be out, but
yeah, no,
unless
Daybreak
you
2
can
might
play,
be out by the time you're finished, but
most likely will be, considering it's not even 2 months away. It's a day
yeah,
short of
yeah,
it, but
yeah, no, yeah, Daybreak 2 comes out in February, but yeah, but yeah, at the current moment, like, yeah, there's 11 games for you to get through, but by the time you finish, like, probably like a fifth or sixth game, Daybreak 2 will probably be out.
yeah, yeah. So my story with Trails is actually starts with, of all things, Persona. I was looking for some Persona Let's Plays online to watch, and I found this YouTuber named Big Clingy, and I saw, oh, he has. I was scrolling through his like his playlist, said, okay, this seems pretty interesting. Oh, and then Trails. Okay. Click on that, just on a whim, essentially. Find and then click on that. Okay. Oh, an introduction to the Trails series. Let's watch that. Watched it. It seemed really, really interesting to me. So I bought Sky First Chapter. It took me a bit to actually get around to playing it, but when I played it, at first it was kind of slow, but then as soon as Chapter 2 hit, holy shit, it got really, really good. So, like, it's worth the slow start, absolutely. It's not my favorite series, but I'd also say another video that really helped me figure out whether or not I want to play the series was getting started with Trails in 2021 by Luxon. That was another good video, but that just those two videos together while I was playing Sky First Chapter, just it was really fun to just play the game and have fun, and also watching the Let's Plays, Big Queen's Let's Play while I was playing along with the game myself, and that with the Sky trilogy, and then for me at least, I went from Sky First Chapter, Sky Second Chapter, Sky Third. Zero was out at the time. I just didn't want to have to wait for Azure, so I went to Cold Steel 1, played Cold Steel 1, played half of Cold Steel 2, got hit with Burnout, finished Cold Steel 2, play after Azure was released, played Zero, played half of Azure, then I was forced to take a break due to me not having my PS4 with me. So I had to wait like a few months to play Azure, which word of advice, don't do that. It's really good, and having to split it up, it just is really unfortunate. And then I went to Cold Steel 3 for Reverie, and now I'm almost done with Chapter 4 of Daybreak. So yeah,
Yeah,
my Trails journey is not done yet, even with the English releases, but it was absolutely worth playing. And then
yeah,
I will say the reason why Burnout hit is likely because that was my fifth Trails game in the span of a week. So don't do what
yeah,
I did.
yeah.
I thought
No,
you'd be able to, but I'd be
yeah, no,
impressed if someone managed to beat my
yeah,
record.
yeah. If I can interject, my
Yeah.
recommendation is that, like, take these games one at a time. They're not typically that long,
Well,
but I would
with certain
still recommend,
exceptions.
with certain exceptions. Yeah, they're like, some of them are pretty can be pretty
Yeah.
long, but like, still take your time. Don't do it all at once. The series is very good. It's a slow burn, but trust me, it is
It is
very
so
very
worth
worth
it.
it if you love world building, if you love character relationships,
Yep.
if you love like complex, like simple but fun complex battle systems.
Yeah.
Um
The Trails
and
battle
like
system has a very high skill ceiling from my experience, but at least especially
yeah, like
in
it
the
can
later
it
games.
can get hard. Like can you cheese certain things? Yeah, of
Yeah.
course you can. Every game has cheese, but
Yeah.
still, like, it's still very even like with cheese strats, it still feels very rewarding to beat enemies.
Yeah, I would agree. Like for me, one of my favorite things in games is that moment when you finally are able to snap the game balance in two and just be able to beat everything with barely any effort. That is always a really rewarding
Yeah,
moment, and I
yeah, no,
felt
it
that in
is.
every Trails game. So,
Yeah, no, like literally, like it's very fun. Like you
yeah,
get very much into it. But yeah, well, what really sells the series for me though are the characters, and
absolutely.
the characters are so good. Like it's like even characters I think are okay are probably better than most characters in regular
Yeah.
RPGs.
Yeah, no. Like barring certain exceptions, and there are exceptions, I will
Yeah,
say that oh,
yeah, like not every character's like not every character's like good. There's definitely are some bad ones, but
yeah.
those are very few and far between.
Yeah, I know there are three I can think of off the top of my head that I just outright don't like, and were meant to like them, but otherwise, I can at least appreciate, and with even them, there are aspects of them I appreciate, but like, I think one of the
Yeah,
best aspects of Trails though is how much it makes you like the characters, because for
yeah,
me, the character, like my most hated character is a character you're supposed to hate. So, like, and this isn't just in Trails, this is just in general. The Trails is
Um,
amazing at like just conveying that stuff.
yeah, and also they're also like good at like like making characters just kind of like bounce off each other and like it
Yeah.
feels natural and good. That the chemistry is very much there with a lot of the characters. Like you feel very connected to the characters. Like when you're done with the arc, you kind of feel like oh like like a part of you is like kind of
Yep.
going away along with these characters for a little bit, and you're moving
Yeah.
on to the next group. But
And
then you
then there are
realize
some
okay, yeah,
and
just
then there are some characters
the,
that
the,
just don't come back, unfortunately. You have to get
yeah
used to it.
no yeah no like not every character returns and like yeah that's sad but like for some characters I understand you know kind of based on like what I know and such that they probably will never return
Yeah.
because there's probably not a good reason for them to return or like their story's done so like I don't really know what more they could add.
Yeah, agreed. I think one of the best examples of this is well, actually I can't say that
Yeah,
here because
yeah,
spoiler.
yeah, maybe not talk about that character that
Yeah, I
that
won't talk about that here.
yeah
If this episode does
I
well,
guess
we could talk about it in a later episode, but
we'll talk about like individual characters at some point maybe
yeah,
but like
yeah.
yeah
Or just, I mean, individual characters or just like general games, just the games in general, because yeah, we could
yeah
talk
because
about Trails for a while.
yeah, like I would love to talk about the characters here, but like I obviously don't want to
Spoilers.
like spoil like entire character's story and arc because like a lot of my favorite characters are like very good and like I want people to experience their stories.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like my favorite character period is from the Trails series, but I don't want to say who it is because their arc is so good. Like I don't see how
Yeah,
any character could top it. Like not even in just
yeah,
in Trails, just in general. So,
yeah. No, like yeah, like I like them too, but like they're not like my favorite character. But
yeah.
like I obviously have characters I like more personally, but like objectively, I think they're the best written in the series.
Yeah. I don't like using the word objectively when talking about character writing, but I do get what you mean. Like it's
Like yeah,
they're
like
definitely the
I
strongest in my opinion.
yeah, I think they're like the best written one at
Yeah.
least. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think they're the best written. Agreed. There are some
Like there
characters I
might not
think
be my
are
favorite. They might not be my favorite character because I like two other characters more than
yeah.
them, but still.
One is incredibly spoiler filled, and one is also pretty spoiler filled, and never
Yeah,
comes back
yeah,
ever.
they are like yeah, they are so good, but like yeah, I can't really. Those characters are so spoiler coded that
Yup.
I can barely talk about them.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll probably do an episode at some point on this and on those two characters at some point, like probably
Yeah,
separately, but we'll be referencing it, but referencing the other in their respective episodes. But
but
we're talking about a lot about future episodes. But anyway,
yeah, no. But yeah, no. The series, like I will say, like it is definitely like a bit of a tough task to get into,
oh yeah,
but like if you do get through it, it's great. It's really good. There's still games coming out.
yeah,
We don't exactly know when the series will end, like,
yeah,
10 years from now, so on
yeah,
and so forth. We'll never know.
yeah.
But
Until the series is
also,
actually over.
oh yeah. Also, one other recommendation for me as well. If you're planning to play the series, my personal recommendation is to play it on PC
Agreed.
because on PC you get to play every game without needing the console jump because
Yeah,
at the current moment, the Sky Trilogy is only available on PC.
yeah.
Well, accessibly, best availably on PC.
Yeah,
You can play it in
it's
other
on
places.
PSP,
Like,
but don't play the PSP version. It has a worse version of the
yeah,
translation and no
yeah,
turbo.
no, yeah, it has a very early translation. It's not very polished. Like I wouldn't recommend playing that one. Like
Yeah,
if you're gonna play any version of Sky, play the PC version that's released on Steam.
100%.
They
And
they go on they
also,
go on they go on sale a lot during like during like any Steam sale.
yeah,
For $10, $15.
yeah. I would also say though that in regards to the Sky, sorry, in terms of Trials in the Sky, just play the entire trilogy on PC because through Steam or GOG or whatever because that's the only place where you can currently play Sky Third. The PSP version was never released in North America, so if you want to play
Yep.
Sky Third and get your carryover bonuses, which you don't ever need them, but they're always nice to have. Just
Yeah,
Do yourself a
yeah,
favor and play them all on
yeah,
PC.
yeah. Carryover bonuses are basically just like little bonus items. You don't need them.
Yeah. And I'll also say if you like your carryover bonuses like I do, make sure you play the Crossbell games and Reverie and the entire Cold Steel quadrilogy all on one platform. Preferably not PC, so preferably not PS4, because the PS4 versions of Zero and Azure are worse than the PC and Switch versions, and the Switch does not have Cold Steel 1 and 2.
Yeah, it does not. At least in North America, not at least no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no. Like the reason why I say PC is because okay, first off, like you don't have to console jump,
Yeah.
which is a very annoying thing for a lot of gamers. I assume
Yeah.
having to jump between consoles to get to different games. So like if you want everything in one place, I recommend going playing it on PC. They go on sale a lot,
Yeah.
so wait for sales, spend your money wisely. Don't buy them at full price if you're not confident and you're not gonna like it enough. Like
Yeah. I mean,
that's my
literally,
recommendation. But
like
yeah,
if you're watching this game, if you're watching this as around the time it comes out, the Steam Winter Sale is coming up. Sky First Chapter always goes on sale there. Just buy Sky First Chapter for $10 and see if you like it. If you do like it, make sure you buy Second Chapter because holy shit, you're gonna want it as soon as you're finished with First Chapter.
yeah, trust me. Like if you beat the entirety of first chapter and don't immediately buy second chapter
Yep.
afterwards and want to play afterwards, that's crazy to me, man.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone could do that. Like,
Yeah, but like yeah.
if you
So
know, you
yeah,
know.
but yeah. To recap, recommended playing order: start with Sky, go to the crossbow arc, which is Zero and Azure, then play the Cold Steel
In
arc,
that
all
order.
four
Yep.
games, then play Reverie, and then play Daybreak One, and then probably by then Daybreak Two,
Yeah,
and
and
then
maybe even whatever Kai ends up being, depending how long you
yeah.
take.
There's also another game, yeah, Kai no Kiseki, but that game's not
Even
local. That game is
announced
not
yet.
like officially has not been announced in English yet. It's out of
Yeah,
Japan, but like yeah, be
yeah,
wary of spoilers. That game has had a lot of spoilers going around for a while. They've been dialing down recently,
thankfully.
but still.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the other thing. There are a few things. There are a few tips I'm gonna give. One, avoid the internet. Just avoid the
Yeah,
internet. It's gonna spoil
yeah, like
you,
avoid, like avoid avoid Twitter and like Reddit especially,
especially
and
r
also
slash Capcom.
especially yeah, also especially avoid sorry, not Reddit, 4chan
Yep.
specifically. Like I know a lot of people won't go to 4chan typically for anything, but like there's a Falcon board there on 4chan, and they are really bad with spoilers.
Yeah, I've never
And
been
there's
on there, but I've heard the rumors.
yeah, the 4chan. I only went on there to get a fan patch for Kuroda Kiseki when Daybreak wasn't out yet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
I've never, yeah, I'm never going on
yeah,
4chan.
yeah, like if you don't, I recommend not going there
Yeah,
personally. Never ever go to the 4chan like board. Like I know a lot of people probably won't go to 4chan in general because that place is a fucking cesspool of
yeah,
garbage.
yeah,
But still, if you want anywhere to go for trails, like find a Discord server, like find smaller communities. I wouldn't recommend Falcord personally because
no,
that place is very big. There's a lot of weirdos in there, and
yeah,
like you probably won't have your opinion heard by a lot of people too.
yeah. I mean, you could always join the Discord server we met in.
Yeah, yeah, like you
That's a
could,
good
yeah, like
server. We're
yeah,
both moderators there.
yeah, we're both mods there. Like it's a nice place. Everyone there is pretty nice. They're kind of playing trails alongside us. Some
Yep.
of us are caught up, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
But yeah, like if I recommend anywhere to talk about trails, then yeah, just go find a Discord server or find like a smaller like community somewhere. But like
yeah,
don't try to go after the bigger ones because they usually are very unfiltered,
yeah.
unmoderated.
Ugh, yeah. Yeah. Then another tip I would give you would give a new player in the Sky trilogy, the Crossbell duology, and specifically Cold Steel 2. I forget, and I don't know if CS4 has it, but I know Cold Steel 2 does only in the trial chests. Check chests twice. It is so worth it.
Yeah, no, it's
They're
very yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, it's very funny. I kind of want to talk about it.
You can
Okay,
go ahead.
so basically, there's a funny story behind this. So basically, there was a coding error in the original Japanese versions of Sky, where
Imagine
every chest had the same line of dialogue, but for some reason, someone decided to make
make
that
every instance
like
unique.
yeah, make every instance unique. So what happened was now that when the localizers get in there to localize these games, they change all those like this chest is empty dialogues to a bunch of random jokes.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, these are known as the chest messages, and
Yeah.
every
They're all
chest
amazing.
has its own like randomized dialogue that you
Not
can
random, but
see.
like yeah, it's
Yeah.
they're like random. Where did that come from? There are preset chess messages for each chess
Yeah,
though.
like some of the
So
chess
good.
messages have like their own like storylines
Yes,
and shit.
Trails in the Chest is one of the best stories ever told.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like and like every game up until I believe Azure had them.
Yes, up to and including Azure have them, and then CS2 specifically has them in the trial chest. I forget if CS4 does as well,
Yeah, I'm
but
not sure if it does.
I think
I'd have to replay CS4, but like yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the chess messages are very charming and funny. I kind of wish they kept them, but like
it makes
maybe
sense why
because
they didn't because
yeah,
they you can no longer check chests twice in Gold
yeah,
Steel.
like
It's
you can't check
unfortunate, but
yeah, you can't check chess twice anymore. But like yeah,
yeah,
that's I guess like that's another part of like why the series is so like like cool and unique to me. Like
yep.
they just do like little things like that
Even and
that
it's
like
just in the
not
localized
not
version.
yeah, and that's just in the localized version. Also, yeah, another thing, the localization for Trails is phenomenal. The
Yep.
voice actors are great. The dialogue is very good.
Yeah,
Like I recommend like the dub is actually like pretty good.
it's
I know some
amazing.
people out there are very like are very like like adamant against dubs. Like oh I don't really like them very much, but trust me, the one for Trails is actually really good. And
Yeah,
like
I mean,
as a person who's played both are good, but I prefer the English versions.
yeah. I mean, the only like for me at least, the only two games I've played with the Japanese dub is Zero and Azure because they don't have an English dub, which,
Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. It's so much was dubbed in the Japanese, it's just would not have been worth it to voice everything in English. So, fair
yeah,
enough. But I can see the reason why someone would want to stick with dub so they don't have to switch voice actors. Also,
yeah. I know.
while we're on the topic of crossbell and localizations, uh, huge shout out to the Geofront. They're pretty much, I believe they're the only reason why we had the Zero and Azure out as soon as we did,
Yeah,
if
I
at
know.
all.
And like and like there's a very special person in the community.
Yeah,
Sadly, he's no longer with us,
yeah,
and he was a big advocator for like Zero and Azure coming out. He wanted these games localized so badly. He was a part of the Geofront
yep,
team. You know, he and a bunch of other people like went out of their ways to like localize the game, make the best versions possible, and then NISA America, which is the current localizing team for Trails, by the way, they came in there and they got the team in to make retail versions of the games on Steam and every other console, so on and so
yeah,
forth. But like I said earlier, yeah, this person is no longer with us. Sadly,
yeah,
he passed away,
yeah,
and in and yeah, in like his memory lives on through everyone in the community as
definitely.
the advocator for why we have Crossbell here in America.
Yep. Like and then a bit of context for how good the Geofront version is. There are some features in that version that are not in the official version, and they're not just like, it's like, oh, there's this neat little chess message, or oh, this neat little line, or throwaway mechanic. No, there was an entire mechanic there's an entire feature in the options menu that let you in the Geofront version that let you choose per song whether you wanted the original version or the Evo version. For context, the Evo version is like the evolution, which is just the songs recomposed. Uh,
Yeah,
some people like it, some people don't. For me, it depends on the song. Generally, I prefer the
yeah,
original, but there are some songs I prefer the Evo version of.
yeah. But yeah, the Geofer version had that, but yeah, the official version didn't have it.
Yeah,
And like, you know what?
fair
Fine,
enough.
whatever.
That
But
that
like,
would have taken so much effort to implement, but like
yeah, it does. It does take
I
a
just
while to
use that.
implement.
I just use that as an example of like how good these fan patches were. Like,
Oh yeah,
and
oh
the
yeah, for sure.
translations were really, really good. Like, genuinely, I don't like, if someone hadn't told me, I would not have thought that fans were the ones who made the
But
basis
yeah,
for that script. It was
but yeah, no,
absurdly well done.
like, but yeah, no. Also, like, I guess another thing is that like the Trails community is kind of the reason why we even have, well, why the series is even like, as far in as it is.
Yeah,
Honestly, why we have all these localized versions and such. Like the community, like yeah, there's not everyone is like us, not everyone is great, but like for the most part, everyone kind of knows each other, which is I guess kind of a a good and bad thing.
yeah,
Um, because like the community's so small, everyone kind of knows each other. But like at the same time, like a lot of people in the community are very passionate and like they want people to play these games and
yeah,
experience them for the first time. People are usually pretty like nice about spoilers. Obviously, you'll
yeah,
find people that'll just spoil games outright and not give a shit. But
yeah,
like in my experience, few and far between. I haven't met too many bad people in the community, but
yeah, yeah. I
but
mean,
yeah, for the most part, the community is usually very like welcome to new players.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, just ask any of my friends and they'll tell you I recommend Trails to them a lot. Like
Yeah,
it's just it's an amazing
I got
series. Everyone who likes
yeah,
JRPGs should at the very least give it a shot.
yeah, no, I that's what I think too. And also like I got I like talk about that. I also got one of my other friends into Trails. Like he's one of my online friends that I've known for a very long time, and like I got him into Trails, and like he's caught up just like me. Eventually, he got there.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I
It, it,
it,
o- it only took him like a year, like
yeah,
around a year.
yeah. From that was me as well. It took me about a year though, barring that. Though it would have taken less time if I didn't have to take that huge break between July and November for Azure, because yeah, I beat the entire series up to and including Reverie in a year.
Yeah, no, like if you want to be quick about it, you can do it. But like,
Yeah,
yeah,
take
what I
your time
recommend
and
is take your
enjoy it.
time. Yeah, take your time, enjoy it. Like enjoy the characters, enjoy the world, the combat. The side quests are also pretty good too. Forgot to put that
Yeah.
in there.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
th-
absolutely. Do as many side
there's
quests
a
as
lot.
you can. It's worth it. It's
Yeah,
so
like
much of the
do
world.
I recommend doing all the side quests if you can. They're all like pretty charming and fun. Like yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are kind of like oh kill this thing or oh collect this thing, but
But like
still
even the extermination requests are fun because like they're a fun boss fight or mini boss
yeah, it's like
fight. So
a unique boss you'll never fight anywhere else.
yeah. Yep. And like okay, unless you talk to every NPC at every point, you're going to miss at least one side quest, almost guaranteed, because they're hidden.
Yeah,
So genuinely,
yeah,
you
there's
might
hidden
not like
quests.
it. Just follow a guide for like finding quests if you're going for max rank, and then just like don't look at it for battles and stuff like that. But it's just talk to every NPC, which
Yeah,
is
guides.
fine.
Yeah,
They're
like
like the NPCs do change their dialogue after every story beat, so it's worth it to
they
talk
do.
to them.
Yeah, yeah. There's people who do like full NPC sweeps. Like personally, I
I
don't do
don't.
it
Yeah, I
because
don't either.
it takes a lot of time to do it.
Yeah,
But it is a nice thing you can do if you want to get a
yeah,
little bit more out of the game, a little bit more out of the world, and like you see the dialogue changes, and like that's a cool thing too. Not a lot of games do that
yeah,
apparently. Um,
yeah. From
but
my
like
experience, it's really just Trails and like the occasional other game. Like
yeah,
Trail,
like
it's
like
no series does as consistently as Trails does.
yeah, no, like yeah. If you could guarantee anything, Trails is very consistent in its quality. Even
Yeah.
games that I'm not super high on, I still think are pretty good games.
Yeah, like even like the worst Trails game for in my opinions, in my opinion, it's CS2 just because that's where Burnout hit. So I need to replay it at
Yeah,
some point so I can get a better opinion of it. That's still an 8 out of 10 for me.
yeah, no. Like for me, like Ultima 4 is my least favorite, but even then, I think that game's like a 7.5 probably,
Yeah. It's like
like a 7 or a 7.5.
yeah, but like that just go like if the worst in your series is a 7 to an 8, you're doing something right. So,
Yeah, no, like usually they're like are 8 or above. Like I
yeah,
think I think Sky Second Chapter is like a 10 out of 10.
absolutely.
I think Azure is also a 10 out of 10. Like
Yeah,
holy shit, so good.
Azure is
And
really
like
really good.
it is, yeah. I'm not gonna say why it is because
Yeah,
obviously not, but
spoilers.
like but trust me, that game is really good. I'm not glazing it. It's for
Yeah.
real.
like it might be my fifth favorite Trails game, but that is only due to the way I played it, was forced to play it. Like if I was able to play it like I played Sky Second Chapter, it would very very easily be in my top three. It probably wouldn't
Yeah,
be in
no.
Second
Uh,
Chapter, but it still would have been in my
yeah,
top
no.
three. Once I play it
But
again,
yeah, no.
it'll
Like
probably
I
be there.
guess, I guess like the reason why I like Trails a lot is like it kind of just does everything that I like in other games,
Yep.
but at an exceptional level. Like Trails is very good at like taking familiar elements you like from other games, but then bumping that to like Wumbo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's
it's not like oh, characters, okay, the characters are amazing. Oh, the combat, okay, the combat's fun. Oh, the
yeah.
world building, oh, the world building like has super pay attention to, and we know where
Yeah.
everything is. Like there's a giant map of the world, and
Yep.
we get to
Yep.
go to most of these places and do all these things and such. And like
Yeah.
certain plot points come back up and they matter in like these little sections, or they refer back to something. You're like, oh, okay, I know that. And like a character returns, and their story continues, or
Yep.
they have like some dialogue with another character, to flesh them out better or something.
Yeah. And then okay. Yeah, it's really, really impressive. And like that's why I recommend doing as much as you can in these games because everything
Yeah,
adds to the world. Like even the one game without traditional side quests, Sky Third, it still is a very, very important game. Like the
yeah,
main story is
yeah.
amazing, but like I
Also,
would say the doors are where like the main bulk of the
yeah,
trail
yeah.
stuff is.
I guess like in a cosmic sort of way, you can say the doors are technically the side quests.
Yeah, but the doors are the closest thing you have to side quests and Sky Third, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's still so good.
I guess to explain, like doors are basically just kind of like these little mini stories, basically.
Yeah, there are five moon doors which are long scenes and well, there are six
Yeah,
long scenes from the moon doors because the first one is split into two. And then there are five sun doors which are all mini games, and then there are 15 star doors. Star door
yeah. And
14
Star
can only be opened when you complete all other star doors, and then what were you gonna say, Matthew?
Oh yeah, no. Like the Star Doors are like smaller stories that like they typically can be finished in one sitting.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
Moon Doors are ones that are longer, so they'll probably take you a bit longer, sometimes
Yeah.
two parts. And then
Yeah.
Sun Doors are
Like
mini
in
games.
yeah, like in Moondor 1 is two parts. Mini games is Sun Doors and Star Doors, like the quick, short little scenes. So I
I would
will,
recommend
although, hmm?
if you get there, do all of them, please.
Agreed. Completely agree. Like, although I will give a content warning for Star Door 15, I will not say specifically about the content warning, but
Yeah.
if you're really nervous
Um.
about it, like look it up
Yeah.
once you
Yeah.
get to Star Door 15, like only once you are like Star Door 15, like once you get to the door that
Yeah.
is marked
That.
Star Door 15,
Yeah.
look it up, see if you want to go through it. If not, just just look up
Yeah. No.
Star Door 14 on
Yeah.
YouTube
Like
because that is very important.
Yeah. No. Like I would recommend. Yeah. That for Starter 15. Yeah. That door is like
The darkest
not
thing
for
in
the faint of.
Trails.
That is one of the darkest things in the entire series. It's not for the faint of heart. Like
Yeah.
if you are easily like creeped out or cringe at certain things, maybe don't watch it.
Yeah.
But for me
Like if you
personally,
want like
it is very important.
yes.
It's very important to certain characters.
Very, very important. Like they don't just do it for shock factor. They do it because it's an integral part of a character's backstory. And
Yes.
like if you really want to skip it, I won't judge, but I will give the recommendation that you at least watch Star 14 on YouTube because Star 14 sets up so much for the next few arcs.
Yeah.
Like
That one's like a big setup for like future stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
That is true. Yep.
we didn't get like there was a thing we didn't get payoff for until Cold Steel 4 in Sky Third. That's from
Yep.
game 3 to game 9.
Yeah.
That is 6 games
Yeah.
worth. So
Yeah. No. Like yeah, like that is just definitely something that I love a lot. Like not that like nothing is kind of kept to the side. Things
yeah.
come back. Eventually, they come back and they become important later,
Yeah,
even if
like
they don't seem that way at first.
yeah, like that's why I would recommend that's exactly what I recommend doing as much as you can. Starter 15 is the only time I will say, you know what? I will say, you know what? you don't want it. It creeps you out. Fine. I won't say only time, but Stoner 15 is the biggest example of you're not comfortable with it. Fine, you can skip it. But like,
Yeah,
if it's like other than that, like try to do as much as you can. Like do as much as you
yeah,
can and enjoy your
yeah. No, like
experience the most you
yeah,
can.
no. These games are very much like these games are very much dedicated to like giving you like some of the best story and like stuff that any game can really give you, and I can't
Absolutely.
recommend it enough. Like it
Yeah.
is by far my favorite like game series of all time, probably. Like
Yeah.
definitely in my top five,
It's my
maybe
favorite,
probably my
period.
favorite. Yeah, it's so good. So
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, my recommendation, please go out there and play Trails, spread the
Absolutely.
word, you know,
Absolutely.
tell everyone to play the series. It's
Yeah.
there's almost
If you
nothing like it. Please.
Yeah, if you like JRPGs, you'll love Trails. If you love good storytelling, you'll love Trails. Just make sure you play the games and don't watch the two anime the Sky OVA and Northern War. They're not worth your time.
Yeah.
And for the love
Don't
of
don't watch
God,
it.
do not play the Northern War mobile game. It is awful. It is by far the
Yeah,
worst
that
Trails media I've ever seen.
probably yeah. Just and
Because
I'm
at
pretty sure like
least
a lot of people. Yeah, the people watching this probably probably are not gonna ask about these things, but like yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but still like yeah, the Sky OVA, don't watch it. It's not a supplement for playing the
It
games. It
is
never will
not
be. It
good.
never was.
It's not good. It cuts out the main villain, and it cuts out so much, and it's oh my god, it's
Yeah,
just a
it
mess.
it sidelines a lot of the characters too, which the Sky
Yeah,
games do not do.
yeah, exactly.
It
Also,
also doesn't. It also does not include certain characters either, which
yep,
is really stupid.
yep. Also, when you get to the beginning of Sky's second chapter, you are given a choice between two party members. I would recommend picking Red because
Yeah,
because I recommend picking the guy because it is like his character, it fits so much more and is like it fits more with the characters that are going to be shown and also the arc that the main character
yeah,
is going through at the time.
yeah. No,
So
and like yeah, and
so
also like
I'm not saying
yeah,
you can't pick the girl, but the guy in my opinion is the better choice.
yeah. But like yeah, play how you want.
Yeah,
Play
just a
how you want to
recommendation.
do it. But yeah, yeah, our recommendation is like yeah, do as much as you can.
Yep.
Try to squeeze as much content as you can out of these games because like there's a lot there. Like
Yeah.
even in shorter games, there's still a lot there are a lot there to experience and see. It's worth it. Trust me. Like
100%.
I wouldn't be glazing the series if I didn't love it to death with all my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Cuz
Like
I mean,
I glaze it because it's worth glazing.
absolutely. Absolutely. Like it is so good. It is the only thing in my opinion that is the only thing so far that's beaten out Persona and I love Persona, I really do, but Trails is just oh my god,
Yeah,
it's so good.
yeah, yeah. No, like yeah. There's just nothing like it really.
Yeah.
Like to me at least, there's just nothing as good as it.
Yeah. If anything, even if anything were to touch Trails, it would take so long
Yeah,
to build up to it that
yeah. It would have to
I'm not
be
saying I'd lose
another.
interest, but it
Yeah,
literally have to be another Odyssey.
yeah. Like I'm sure, maybe there's something out there that could rock my world as much, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I sincerely doubt it as well.
Yeah, like it has a high bar to reach because like
Absolutely.
Trails' peak is like all the way in the all the way in fucking like the 12th universe.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna need to reach the 13th or 14th universe to top Trails.
Yeah, no, holy shit.
So,
But yeah, no,
like,
yeah, no, it's for real. It is that good.
yeah.
I am not lying when I say this. It is the best story I've ever is the best JRPG I've ever played. The
Agreed.
best JRPG series I've ever played.
Yep.
Bar
Yep.
none. Nothing beats it. The
Yep.
characters are so good. You'll get attached to at least one or two of them. For me, I'm attached to like 20 of them.
For me, I'm attached to all but three of them to a
Yeah,
certain
I'm
extent.
attached. I'm attached to so many of these characters because
Yeah.
they're so
Yeah.
well done. They interact so well. Like
Like
they say things that make sense.
even the characters I hate are like characters like, yes, this was great. We're all supposed to hate this character, and holy shit, they pulled it off amazing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's so worth it.
yeah. No, like if nothing else, yeah,
Yeah,
please go out there, buy the games, play them,
yeah,
experience them,
yeah,
do it, please. It's so good. Spread the word. It's
yep,
awesome. But
yeah.
yeah,
I would like
um,
going back to the spoiler thing for a second though. Do not look anything up about a game you have not already beaten. If you see a character that seems interesting, don't look them up. Chances are there's going to be at least one spoiler relating to them.
yeah. Also, yeah, that's another thing. Like, yeah, avoid the
Yep,
wikis.
yep,
Avoid the wikis. Avoid Twitter. Avoid like Reddit, especially r/Falcom,
yep,
and like
yep,
avoid like yeah 4chan, like I said before. Like just avoid anywhere that like would seem like easy places to avoid spoilers, and yeah, you'll be
yeah,
completely fine
yep,
to experience the series completely blind the way it was intended.
yeah. It's like the important thing is that you get into the series, but I think the best way to start it is with Sky First Chapter, because
Yeah.
the only other I don't want to say valid, but like the other good starting point is Cold Steel 1, and yeah, that's a fine starting point. Issue is Cold Steel 2 spoils a lot about the previous arc Crossbell, so
It does.
it's not, and after that ending of Cold Steel 1, you are going to want to jump immediately into Cold Steel 2. So that's why I can, in good faith, say start with Cold Steel 1 over Sky First Chapter. Like, play in
Yeah.
order. Just absolutely
Yeah.
play in
For
order.
yeah, probably don't like yeah, like how I said, like I said, I started with CS1, and like yeah, it was fine starting point for me, but like yeah, in retrospect, if we're playing every game of the series, that's in English at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wish I started from the beginning and played all the way to the end,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like yeah, I got got spoiled certain things that happened in this arc, that happened in the
Yep.
previous arc, so on and so forth, and like yeah, does it matter to me that much? No, but like to someone else, it will matter.
Yeah. Like, for me at least, I remember, like, I intentionally took, like, a month off after Cold Steel 2 because I was like, okay, this spoiled something from Crossbell. I'm gonna give it a month to like get out of my brain and then go back, see if I and then start playing through it. I got lucky though that I got lucky in that fact that I was able to forget until after I beat until I got to that point in Azure where the spoilers started to come back, and thankfully that was after my memory coming back of what I got spoiled on in Cold Steel 2 came back after the reveal. So,
Yeah.
because
No,
this
so
game loves this series loves its plot twists, so that's the big
they do.
reason why I say
Yeah, they love
never look
they love
anyone
pulling the
up.
rug under you. Like, oh, you think that this is one thing, but no, it's actually this,
Yep,
so on and so forth. Like
yep,
the series has a lot of very well executed plot twists, in my opinion, that
absolutely.
do land and are very impactful.
Yeah,
And like the big part of the reason why is like they get you to care about like the world and the story, and then like the struggles of these characters.
yeah, yeah. I would say though that my favorite, like, what was it? Frick, what was I gonna say?
It's,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, it was like, crap. Like even okay. Oh, right. So, so we've spent almost over 43 minutes talking about the strengths of trails. Do you think is there anything you'd like warn people about in regards to trails? Like, if you don't like
um
this, you might not like
okay.
trails?
Okay. Well, okay. One thing that is like very apparent in Trails. Okay, Trails does like to do this a lot. Like I think this is an issue like in every game, where like there tends to be moments that like tend to drag on a little bit,
Yeah,
and like that could be kind of annoying if you expect the game to be constantly going ham all the time. But like yeah, there are slower moments. Like
yeah,
things tend to drag sometimes. If that's tiring for you, I get it. Like that,
yeah,
it happened to me a couple times playing the series. Like yeah, can we move on? Like I don't want to do this anymore. So on and
yeah,
so forth. But like trudge, I recommend just trudging through it. Like yeah, it's not that great, but like trust me, it gets better. And like
yeah,
otherwise like um there's some characters that are they're definitely problematic
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. It can definitely make you very uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like from the things they do.
The three characters I mentioned
Sometimes,
I didn't like are the three examples that immediately come
yeah,
to mind.
yeah, they're very problematic. But like, yeah, like, and like, I'm not even just extending to those characters. I know who they are, but
Yeah.
like even like some of the villains do some heinous things that can be considered pretty, you know, not the faint of heart, so to
Yeah.
speak. So
Yeah.
like that could be kind of like creepy to some people. But like
Yeah.
they're villains. They're meant to be like awful, heinous people.
Yeah. The three I mentioned are party members. That's my issue with them, but is that the
Yeah,
three people I'm talking about are like
yeah.
varying
You're meant to
degrees of
like
iffy.
like you're meant to like them, but they do questionable things that are very
Yeah.
weird and
Yeah.
no. And like yeah, like also like Trails that has like some anime tropes,
Yep.
but like a lot of things like sadly, when you really think about it, a lot of things are very tropey by nature.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of things that you see in a lot of other things, and Trails is no stranger to those tropes. Good thing though is that like they don't tend to happen too often, and if they do a trope, they tend to subvert it and make it more interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Although
Yeah,
I will give one warning in regards to the Sky trilogy, but it's just that warning is the first two games focus very much so on Estelle and Joshua, who are adopted siblings, and there's a very will they won't they dynamic.
yeah,
So that's pretty much my one warning. Like I will say this though, it is the one time that I'm fine with it because it is done incredibly well and tactfully. Like they pretty much put in every stipulation possible to make it as not weird as possible, without
yeah,
just making them not adopted siblings, but
yeah,
otherwise. But then
yeah.
like
Like
Cold Steel just kind of drops the ball, something like that. But
yeah, I know. Like that is definitely one thing that is could be a very. This is definitely a thing that I see a lot of other people take issue with
yeah,
is the fact that Estelle and Joshua are they're set up to be adopted brother and sister, and you know set up to be something more than that, right?
yep,
But like the issue stems with the fact that like this is technically incest by law, right?
yeah. That's
So like
the
if
issue
you
I've seen a lot of people have with it. But like
and like
I
yeah,
think it's done
I get it.
decently
But for me
enough.
personally, I don't mind it because they don't tend to treat them in that sense
At
too
least
much.
at least later on. Like initially it's more of a they treat each other like siblings at first, but then like as the series as like the game as like the Sky first two Sky games go on, they treat each other like siblings less and less and more like just and more
Yeah,
like less like siblings, I'll leave it at that, and
yeah,
I think it works
yeah.
well.
It does work, and yeah, like I probably would hate it if it was like not developed at all. It was just kind of there
Absolutely.
to be like to settle as like as like a fetish for like a writer or something. It probably was someone's fetish in the
Yeah.
writer's room, but at the
Yeah.
very least, they did develop it and made it good.
Yes, I will
And
give
that's
them
like
credit for that.
and like yeah, are the implications weird? Definitely
Yeah.
yes. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like denying that. Like that is one big thing that is definitely very weird that you've experienced at first. But in my opinion, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as bad as it could be. Still,
Yeah, it's not.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. But
Yeah.
like there are some hiccups I have here and there. Like some things tend to drag on. Some things are not like as not some things don't tend to end as easily as you think, but like
Yeah.
those issues are few and far between in my opinion. For the most part, they tend to focus very well on what they're doing and what works, and don't focus too much on what doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will also say though, one thing I'm not the biggest fan of in regards to the whole in regards to Trails is after the Sky trilogy a lack of a canon romance when because there's dating sim mechanics in Crossbell
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and Cold Steel and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in
That is
Daybreak.
one thing. Yeah, yeah.
So
I didn't. I thought about bringing it up, but okay, you brought it up. Okay, so
yeah.
basically, yeah. One thing that is very, very annoying is that okay. basically, yeah, Sky trilogy had had its main romance. Everyone loved it, right? It was awesome and great. But then later on, they started to experiment with harem mechanics.
Yep.
Stuff that usually is like in like regular harem anime or more famously in Persona,
Yeah.
but Trail started adopting these elements, and honestly, it was for the worse. I
Agree.
don't like these elements
Agree.
because these elements tarnish a lot of really good writing they could have had if they just settled with one.
Yep. Yep.
Because
Like,
oh my god, it is so annoying. It is so annoying when every fucking female likes the same guy and
yeah.
like none of them are canon because they have to satisfy like the player's choice of picking who they want.
Yeah. I will
And it's
say,
very obnoxious.
yeah. I will say I prefer crossbows to an extent, over cold steels. Like, there are two exceptions, though, that I just don't like in Crossbell. There are two party members that have an integral part of their backstory is locked behind their final bonding event. What's the final
Oh
bonding
yeah.
event? You only get one per playthrough for one character unless you reload your save.
Yeah, so
And there are
like
two that have vital backstory elements. And
yeah,
granted,
no.
one of my personal choice for romance in the Crossbow arcs is one of them, so that's not an issue for me. But like for the other character, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for the other character, it's like it's egregious. But
yeah,
like thankfully they stopped doing that
yeah,
for the most part. Like they stopped
mm,
doing that. Like things aren't locked behind like these events
as
that you can only
much.
see once per as much. Like there are obviously some other ones I could point to that like okay
Yeah.
that probably should have been in the game. Okay, there's one in Cold Steel 2 that I thought
Yes.
was like okay that could have been that should have just been part of the story.
Yeah. I will. You know what? I will say I will say what I think, what I'm thinking of, and you can tell me if I'm right. Uh,
Uh,
December 22nd.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. But
The
yeah, no, it involves certain character doing a certain thing that they've
yeah.
never done before, and it hits a lot harder if you knew if you knew a certain thing in their bonding event, which you would never see if you never
Yeah.
did it.
You know what? I'm just gonna. I'll just say the character so that way they don't miss that someone gets it does is watching this to get into
Yeah,
the series doesn't accidentally miss it.
yeah,
Do Millions not final, yeah. Do Millions bonding event on December 22nd, otherwise you'll miss a key part of the ending. And it won't hit as
yeah.
hard.
No, it will not hit as hard, in my opinion. Thank God I did it,
Same.
but
I actually
thank God.
heard about that, and I did it and I heard about that from when I was first getting into the series, and
Oh,
I'm very glad I did.
yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah. One other thing about Cold Steel 2. Okay, one other big thing about Cold Steel 2 actually. Okay, I'm gonna say this outright. Cold Steel 2 has content that is vital to Cold Steel 3 that is
Yep.
locked behind a New
Oh,
Game Plus
yep.
playthrough of the game.
Yep. Just do not do a new game plus of Cold Steel 2 in anticipation of Cold Steel 3. Just look up. I will link a video. I will, if we're I'll planning on uploading this on YouTube. I'll if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link a video. I'll link the video in the description that just says that just explains the event. Don't watch it until after you have beaten Cold Steel 2 because it is still a spoiler,
Yep.
but it is vital to knowing what's happening in Cold Steel 3.
Yeah. So yeah, and like that is probably one of the most egregious things Trails has ever done is
It's
requiring you
awful.
to beat the entirety of Cold Steel 2 again. Oh, not you don't only have to do that. You also have to collect these certain items that only appear on New Game Plus,
Yep.
and then give them to a certain NPC, and then
You
the
can see the
cutscene
scene.
activates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
So like
keep in
not only do
mind.
you so you have to follow a guide to get to know where these like items are,
Yep.
and then also give them to this NPC. You have to beat the entire game over again because the NPC only appears during the final part of the game,
Yep.
and then you can see a secret scene that shows that you get to see a secret scene that is very vital to Cold Steel 3.
Yep. And like it's revealed in very early on what that it's like within the first like not it's within the freaking prologue that is revealed. That you
Yeah, no,
needed to
like
watch
the
it. It's
game.
so
Yeah, no, the
stupid.
game. The game very much like
Expects you to have
spoils it.
seen
Like
it.
they
Yeah.
they expected you to do it.
Yep. Yep. Like, yeah,
So
oh
yeah,
my god.
no. So like my recommendation is after you beat Cold Steel 2, like assuming you beat every game before it and then beat Cold Steel 2, watch that scene on YouTube and then play Cold Steel 3.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
It's by the Geofront guy that we were talking about before that's unfortunately no longer with us. Kill Scott Kill.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to know his real name, it's Scott Tajerna. Yeah, he was a big advocator for the Trails community, one of the
Yeah.
best people in the community. That he will forever be missed.
Yeah.
Everyone paid their respects for him, and it's very sad to see a very important person in the community, tragically lose their life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But for real though, like yeah, there are some things that are definitely very like annoying about Trails, definitely. But like I think these flaws are more so just like maybe more so like maybe taste things,
Yeah.
maybe more so things that like are kind of like yeah maybe not too bad. Maybe in other games you're used to kind of slower moments,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
like it's still like a game at the end of the day. They still gotta like tell its story and like do its thing. There's obviously not gonna be moments where everything is gonna be constantly happening. So like if you're okay with slower moments, Trails definitely a lot of slower moments.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Things do drag sometimes, but they're not too egregious to the point of like oh I want to move on already. It doesn't happen that often. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, like of course I'm not shy to the flaws. Like I could probably point to some other ones, but like those are probably more spoilery flaws.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, there are a few things actually I would like to talk about before we conclude. One of them is the Evo openings. Do not watch them until you have beaten the game they are from. Sky Second Chapter and Azure are the worst of it because all of them spoil major plot elements. Sky
yeah,
Second Chapter and
uh,
Azure's are by far the worst of it.
yeah, no, yeah,
It's
the Evo
awful.
versions are basically the evolution versions are like Evo as we call them. They're basically like they're basically like enhanced remakes of those games that were released in Japan that have new art, like some new side quests, new
Yeah.
music. But the problem though is that like the openings for these games, like every Trails game has an opening, like an anime opening, but like the openings for these games spoil a lot of major plot elements from their games.
It
So
spoils
like
so much.
it's so bad. Like
Yep.
I would only recommend watching them after you beat the game,
Yeah.
just to
It's the
see like
only way I. Yeah.
some cool scenes of the characters.
Yep. That's literally the only reason why. Like, that's the only reason why that's the only way I could recommend someone seeing them is once they've beaten the game because it's just gonna spoil so much.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So
But yeah,
annoying.
like yeah, avoid those Evo openings if you want to not be spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that you're gonna have to get used to in the Trails, if you're a Trails fan though, or just a Falcom fan in general, the president Kondo of Falcom, Kondo, loves lying. We never know
Yeah,
whether or not he's telling the truth. Like even the whole thing where he said, "Oh, I didn't know whether or not the sky thing was gonna be in the trailer." That could have been a lie in the Nintendo Direct. That could have been a That could have been a lie. We don't know. So considering how often he lies, we just don't know. Like,
okay, yeah. We haven't talked about him. Okay, so yeah, Toshihiro Kondo, he's the president of Falcom. He's also the person who's created the Trail series. He's been his story is actually kind of funny to me.
yeah,
So basically uh Kondo, he was a guy who made a guide for a game made by Falcom. I believe it was like a really old game, like
yeah,
the
East 3.
Legend of Heroes 3, I
Yeah,
believe.
Legend Heroes
Uh,
3, yeah.
Legend of Heroes 3. He made a guide for the game because like he really liked it. And then the old Falcon president found it and he's like, "Oh, hey, do you want to work for us?" And he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh yeah, sure."
yeah,
And then he worked his way up from being a programmer over time until eventually he just became the president of the whole company. And then like
yep,
took the old Legend of Heroes IP, which Legend of Heroes IP was like this. It was a very different game from the Trail series we
very different.
know. He took that and then made a whole new series out of it.
Yep, yep.
He
And
took the
then,
moniker of Legend of Heroes and made a whole new series out of it, and that's how
yeah,
Trails came to be.
yep, yep. Like,
But like,
before
yeah,
Trails,
but the thing is, the problem with Toshihiro Kondo is that like, okay, he's a great guy, he's a great businessman, but like at the same time, I have not been gaslit by a creator of a series as
Yep.
much as him.
Yep.
He will say things that are just
Not true.
that are not true, and and then like it's a joke in the community that the fans always fall for it,
Yep. Like
and because like we
no one
have so much
knows.
faith in him, but like he just
It's really
lies.
fun.
It's so
It's
fun.
fun.
Yeah, but yeah,
Like
it is definitely very fun. I still like the guy. You know, he's very
yeah.
funny. You know, he's a very goofy guy. You know, he's definitely very passionate like us. But like, he's not the person that's always in the know
Yeah.
about everything going on.
For example, actually no, I'm not gonna say that. He said we never get a long arc that was at least 4 games again, and apparently we're gonna get one in this current arc with Daybreak. So
Yeah, apparently we're gonna be getting a fourth game here. Yeah, it's like it's very goofy, but like
so
yeah.
funny.
So
The
like if you see
very
like
next
any
arc.
so if you see any memes involving Toshihiro Kondo, like laugh at it. Don't take it to heart. Really,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's a don't always believe what he says if you do become a fan. Don't always like
Don't
believe
take
in
his
what he
word as
says.
gospel.
Yeah, no. Like the only things you should take as gospel are like whenever we get like new news about a game
Yeah.
from a more credible source. But like it's kind of fucked up to say that, but like yeah, that's just how it is.
Yup. Yup.
But yeah, no, like very funny guy.
Yeah.
He's very much a character like I guess all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But
yeah.
yeah, but like yeah, just big thing. But yeah, without him, we wouldn't have this series, and fuck, where would I what would I
Yeah.
even be doing with a series, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Trails has just
Like,
become so important to who I am.
yeah, like it kind Trails kind of like skewed my perception on a lot of other games that I played. Honestly,
Oh
like
yeah.
I was like playing other JRPG series. I'm like, wow, like this is really good, but like it's not better than Trails.
Yup.
Like that's
Yup.
I've been like comparing everything to Trails now, and it's like it's probably a bad thing for me to do, but like I can't help it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, just definitely though, get out there, play these games, do do your thing, take it one step at a time. Like if you can't afford a game, like nothing wrong with looking up a playthrough on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like do that if you don't want to spend a ton of money,
On
but
this
like
series. Because I already
yeah,
own them, most of them on PlayStation. I'm buying them again on Steam because I like this series so much. Don't be a me.
yeah, yeah. Probably don't be the person that buys these games on multiple consoles.
Yeah, don't
Like
be a me.
my recommendation, just have them all on Steam. Put them in a nice little library on your Steam library. Put them
Yep.
in a nice little category, your Steam library. Play them all. There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a good series though. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it is so good. It is everything I love in like media and more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just such I I don't think anything will ever be able to top it, at least for a very long time.
Yeah, no, and it's gonna when this series ends, it's gonna leave a very big hole in my heart.
Yep. Yep.
like I'll
I'm doing my best not
like
to try and make the ending a victim of expectations, but like all I hope for the ending is that it's satisfactory and like I don't want it. I doesn't need to be the best thing ever. It just needs to be satisfactory.
yeah,
So
but still but yeah, no, hopefully we can make some new Trails fans out of this, and
yeah.
we have more people to tell to tell the gospel of this series
Yes.
and why it's so good and all that other
Yep.
such. But yeah, um, I guess we'll wrap it up here. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, we've been glazing the series for over an hour, so
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for listening to us.
yep.
Hopefully you can become a fan just like us. We'll see
Yes.
you on the other side. Peace out.
So yeah,
Matthew signing off.
redacted as well.